Greetings, fellow space farmers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan. Episode 65, finally fixing the Fussy Fern farm. I am going to, before I seal it up and weld it, make sure that everything is visible on the data network and it all looks correct on the uplink computer, and then I'll like seal it up and paint it blue. I'm totally not the worst ever. If you played it, it would be a disaster. Fair. If you played this, maybe you wouldn't be an astronaut. You'd be a corpse. See, I at least have launched a rocket, so I'm an astronaut, but not a very good one. Alright. Connecting to... Oh, I didn't label them. Yep, that is connected to the Dastardly Dave minor rocket. Perfect. So then if I open up the UI here and go to this button, we've got the miner, we've got the cargo storage, we've got the battery, which is fully charged, the gas tank, which is empty, the pump gas engine, which has no fuel, the avionics, which is correct, and the scanner, which is fine. So it has no fuel yet, but 99% charged, which is basically full. Cool. So like it's good. We can seal it up and paint it blue and then solve our carbon dioxide problem. And then all we'll need to do after that is once we have the 16 kilomole volatiles, or 12 kilomole volatiles to make the rocket fuel, we'll just fuel it up and send it on its way to go mining. And I don't even have to finish building the umbilical chute system, because that's only necessary when the rocket comes back down to Vulcan. I don't need to worry about that right now, which is this chute umbilical. Right. There's nothing to take from the rocket until it's actually full of payload, so like I can build that later. I put my steel sheets away. Oh my god. Do I need a downlink? Nope. Nothing that I just did would have been possible that one. Without a downlink, you can't connect to it with a computer. Basically, the computer, it's like downlink to uplink to computer, right? So I already have a downlink installed. Been there, done that. Let's try this again. And nothing pokes out of the cone. I've never actually tried to launch a rocket where like stuff pokes out of the cone, so I don't know if it's like a way to kill your rocket or not. I don't intend to test it right now though. There we go. The water rocket is painted blue. Alright, let's, current priority right now is solve our night gas supply issue. But I can't wait to launch that bad boy. So, the night gas supply issue. What I was intending to do is to use the waistline dump vent. So I'm just gonna go grab that, because I don't need to make a new one. I've actually come up with a reason to have this big honker of a thing. Yay! You were repurposed for the third time. Back to your original purpose. Yay! Yeah, okay. You get the point. So the issue, just talking big picture, is that pollutant that comes off of the So there's pollutant in the atmosphere, right? We established that. The atmosphere is actually is 26% pollutant. And pollutant will, because of its at roughly, so at night, oh man, speaking is hard. At night, it is about, let's say, 130 Celsius, which is about 403 Kelvin, and leaving a little bit of room, margin of error, let's call this 115 Kelvin, right? Or like 140 Celsius. So it's about 140 Celsius at 5.6 megapascals, pollutant will flash over from a gas to a liquid. So what we want to do is we want to pressurize a tank up to about 5 megapascals of night gas and not exceed that, so we have a large volume of night gas at ambient temp to filter off of. So the idea is, for that to work, we need a mega tank so that it doesn't pressurize, because the larger the volume, the lower the pressure. I hope I don't have to explain that any further. So the idea is to create a giant insulated mega tank to solve our problems. So if I make a insulated tank and make it big, it should work. Maybe. Even if it wasn't big, it should still work, but like bigger is better in this case. Because the greater the volume, the more gas we can shove into it at night. Which is important. And then the other thing is, ideally, we're going to want another atmospheric unit to be actively filtering out pollutant out of the tank. Probably. Because if we don't do that, the tank eventually becomes 100% pollutant. So what we're doing is we're making the big insulated tanks, which is 5 small insulated tanks. And this thing has a volume of 50,000 liters up from the small insulated tank, which is 6,000. This is such an overkill solution. Why not just vent out the pollutant like I am right now? Well, I guess we would technically. Yeah, I don't really need atmospherics because it's just like creating a volume of gas, so it will get vented out. You're right, and I'm glad you corrected me. So all we really need to do is every night top up this tank to 5 MPa, and it should solve our oh good lord. It should solve our problem with the farm. As I'm, like, watching the doomsday clock tick, 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 tick. Now, the plants won't, like, immediately die, but they're soon to be not happy. Yeah, 5 times the cost, 8 times the volume. Or a little over 8. 8.2 or something, is it? 50 divided by 6... 8.8 and a third. So, mega tank. And I'll probably put this on the roof, because, like, it's big. So that smaller tank is going to be moot soon. There we go. We got the jumbo tank. Then I'm going to make the jumbo powered vent feed into it from actually the front. So I'll rotate the tank. Just because I don't have a lot of other things competing for the same gas. Oh, come on. Yeah, come on. gas source here. Alright, we need a screwdriver with E parts. And oh! Ah! I don't have the jetpack fuel for this. Go gadget arms. And then weld the plastic. And initially, I'll just like manage this like by hand. Just to fill it up is like, you know, so that we have power. So I'm going to stick the cables through the wall so I know where they are. I'll do that for data as well, because eventually we're going to have logic to it. And then the whole logic wall I've made for the filters are going to be changed over for the intake vent. Because why not just do it 1,000 extra times? How big are my space pockets? I'm just happy to see you. What are you talking about? Sorry, not sorry. Come on. Up. Okay. Very obvious. Like, the vent is so big, it just, like, plows through the wall. It's too bad I can't even turn it on from here. That'd be nice. Okay. So now the mega vent is, plugged into power. And I can now start pressurizing the tank. And I'm going to do that if it's... I hope it's still nighttime. Because I want to capture some night air in order to start building up supply for our farm. Because our farm is not doing great. I will eventually need tank data. Oh, shoot. Alright, I'm going to pressurize it with whatever temp gas we have available right now. Because some CO2 is better than no CO2. Or hot CO2 is better than no CO2. And this has to be inwards, doesn't it? So because of the volume, this thing can store a lot of CO2 before that 5 megapascals ticks over. Right, like, there's already 600 moles of CO2 in there. So I'm going to turn this off for now. But yeah, this project should work, because there's going to be so much CO2 available to be pulled in. Also, it is, like, pulling random other, like, steam and stuff. I don't even know where that's coming from. My butt, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know how it got in there. I guess it's outgassing somewhere. But whatever, it gets filtered. Alright, now we need to hook up. So we'll disable the logic and start feeding CO2 off of that network.
Jetpack low. Jetpack low. Jetpack critical.
I'm working on you, farm. So this whole logic wall... So the pressure... I guess most of this doesn't really need to change. It's just the batch writer. So the batch writer turns off. I'm trying to think about the most gentle way to do this. So, this is an air conditioner? Oh my god. No, these are air conditioners. What am I thinking? Alright, up to the filter units. If I could. I'm trying not to use my jetpack. I should just put flat walls here. So, the intake input here should connect over to that new pipe network. I'll probably need more pipes for that, so before I even start on this, let's get new pipes. Or more pipes. Hang in there! Don't die on me, plants! I'm working as fast as I can. I really should have paused racket making for this, but whatever. You know, it's manufactured tension. Let's hope that's enough pipes. All right, so this is the intakes. This is the input. And what I'm going to be doing is... So this is the input line, right? Severing it here. Like that. And then deleting this, which eventually leads to a passive vent, because obviously it's not going to be passive vent fed anymore. So that passive vent, I'll just leave on the floor, whatever, it doesn't matter. Alright, so now the new input line is going to be the jumbo tank. And what I'll do is I'll be, at least for now, hand doing this jumbo tank until I can get the logic in, because I need the gas now. And unfortunately, this carbon dioxide is going to be, like, piping hot, right? Oh, right, the tank's right there. Never mind. Can't do it like that. Yeah, I have to avoid the tank. Sorry. I forgot the tank's right above. There. So connect these two up. Good. And I believe that's all I really need to do. So now, that mega tank is hooked up to the inputs of the filters, and the filters can just stay on. Right? The filters are going to be perpetually on. They're no longer part of they don't need to be turned on or off anymore. Alright, I am finally going to make some flat walls for that frickin' thing. So I have one here. Let's make one more flat wall so I don't have to do, like, Barnum and Bailey's gymnastics every time I want to move around up there. I'm done. Done with it. Where's my steel? My steel should be in here. How's the farm? I mean, it's dying, but, like, there's no point in checking it because I'm working on the solution. So the act of checking on it pushes back the ETA to the finished solution further. Alright. Filter on. Filter on. So now we are filtering out everything that isn't volatiles and CO2 out of that tank, right? So the tank will... I have way more filters than I need at this point. Truthfully, I could probably get away with just one filter. I'm going to try that. Because now, what the filters do... Oh no, that's not true. Yeah, actually, it doesn't hurt to leave them on. Because what's happening here is... we're filtering stuff out of that mega tank into this smaller tank of filtered gas. So this is a smaller... yeah, there it is. That's a smaller tank of filtered gas. It's obviously of bad temperature. Yeah, okay. So keeping multiple filters just increases my flow. That's fine. All right. And then... that CO2 eventually gets fed into the farm, which is climbing for its CO2 percent. The temperature of the farm might fluctuate a little bit, but as long as it's... I don't think it's gonna die. So at this point, we just need to hook up the logic for this fan, this night gas fan. So, big picture. Just to run you through the system, we have the night gas fan, which sucks in air really, really, really fast at night to fill the mega tank that is on our roof. The mega tank is really large because it has a lot of volume, so it can fit a lot of gas before it gets pressurized, which is the condensation point of pollutant. Because if pollutant condenses, it heats up. It generates heat from the exothermic reaction or whatever. That might be the wrong term, but whatever. So we want to keep the pollutant from going from gas to liquid because that's bad and it generates heat. Then that mega tank feeds the filters, which pull the volatiles and CO2 out into the smaller holding tank that is just pure volatiles and CO2. And then everything else that is not volatiles and CO2 go out to space, go out back to Vulcan. So that is essentially the logic there. So what we're looking at here is this will not be a batch writer. This is going to be a logic writer for the vent now. So the vent should get labeled. And this is going to be the night gas vent. And then the tank itself needs to be labeled the big tank. And then the big tank also needs its data port hooked up. Oh, god damn it. I'm back in a wall. Can I stop doing that for, like, realsies? I love the hatch, but if you embed me into a wall like that, it gets tiresome. Alright, where is the tank data port? Here? No? Here? I don't have the jet fuel to... Let's look at a picture. The data... I don't know which side it is. I can't tell from that image. Tank, where's your data port? Oh, there it is. I found it. Woohoo! So logic is not going to be all that different. And I'll step you through it now. Come on. Ladder, down. Good. So, it's still an AND gate. But the difference is the pressure is going to be set to 5,000, which is 5 MPa. And the reader for the pressure is the wrong tank, right? It should be the large tank. So let's turn that off. The night gas. Oops, big tank insulated of pressure. So it's like 15 kPa right now. Basically, it has no pressure. All right, so there it is. Temperature, pressure, compare. So this compare is the same. It's the pressure reader is less than the pressure memory, so that really hasn't changed. Then the last part here is the logic writer. So the input is still the logic gate. And then the output is to the large powered vent, whether it is on or not. And I believe that's all the logic we need. And this should be the night gas logic writer. And I believe it's done. So this vent turns on at night when it's cool and when the big tank's pressure is below 5 megapascals. So it should, it's still too hot right now for it, but it should be turning on tonight. All right, checking up on the farm because 28 Celsius. So yeah, it's heating up, but the percent CO2 is up from 6 or 5% to 10%, so it's doubled, which is pretty satisfying. And then the other half of this equation is we have about almost a kilomole. Well, not almost. 700 moles of volatiles to play with. To add to our rocket fuel supply, which is getting there. And tonight it should be a lot more because we'll flush in a huge amount of supply into the big tank up here, which is just about empty at this point, right? We've filtered everything out of it. It's got like almost nothing left. And that should remedy our problems. I've massively over-engineered this at this point, but better over than under, I guess. I'm going to tend to my food needs, but I know that I am going to need more bread, fresh bread. So let's do some harvest. And I should also put some water in the farm, too, because we're down to... Ugh, there's a lot of steam in that line. We're down to 5 liters of water, so that's not a whole lot. I'm deciding to have 2 rows of wheat rather than the 1 row, because we use a lot more wheat than we use soy. And I'll hydrate in just a sec. There we go. Not all these wheat plants were full yield. That's just like a mutation, unfortunately. Oh, you know what I also realized? I do have French fries left over to eat, too. So I don't fully rely on wheat grain. And I'm pretty sure I still have unrotten potatoes that I could fry up as well. There we go. Our wheat. Our farm is done. I'm going to leave the soy alone because I don't care about that. Cheers. So now, prep to make rocket fuel. Them's the priorities. Oh, did I eat all my fries? What are fries again? 3 potatoes and oil? 3 potatoes and oil. Okay. Have I blown up anything? I have not, sadly. Or, I guess it depends on whose team you're on. But I have not blown up anything. Well, I had bread and french fries. Carb delight. Alright, it should be nighttime. Oh, okay. It should be cold enough for the intake vent. So let's go check on the logic for that. To make sure that our solution for carbon dioxide supply is being fixed. And this is an old potato that is getting thrown out eventually. So checking up on the logic. Is it below 404? It is. Is the logic writer writing? It is. Is the intake vent on? It is. Flow rate is max. Is the tank pressurizing? It is. And the tank right now is at 1.4 MPa with almost 5 kilomoles of carbon dioxide available for filtering. Holy hell, that's a lot of volume. And that's not that we're still at like a third filled or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of gas. This solves a lot of problems. I should have just gone big for the beginning. What we do not have in this line is a liquid drain. So I should probably hook up a liquid drain to it. Yeah. So let's go hook up liquid drain, because there is a possibility of liquid getting in that line and rupturing, which we do not want. But yeah, I'm glad I have that solved. All right. Put the fern seeds away. So that means, all right, up to 16%. And it should be climbing. Pressure is going up. CO2 is going up. And now H2 is going up. So we're making the rocket fuel. Again. Because there's lots of available gas. There's a kilomole of available volatiles and 200 moles of available carbon dioxide to filter from. So. Good, good, good. Alright, I do have liquid drains here. I only need one. So let's go hook these up, and then start making, once we have the available volatiles at the correct temperature, so we'll say about just a little bit more than 12 kilomoles of volatiles ready to go, we'll be able to launch our miner rocket. But yeah, you can see the flow rate of the tower. Kind of neat. Come on, no! I'm trying to, like, save propellant. I've let myself go. Okay, the drain should not be, like, adjacent to the intake vent, because we don't just need it to feed back in. So I'm just gonna have a line come out this way. I'll do, like, a 5, and then a 1, and just drain it there. Like a little shower. And now that should prevent all that liquid water that was in there. Yeah, it's like millimoles of liquid water, but now it has somewhere to go. We're about to be... Filter low. Yeah, well, whatever. We're about to... The logic for the flow vent should be turning off any second now, because we're about to get too warm for it. And yep, there, it's off. So logic obviously works. At least for temp. I don't know for pressure. And we have 1.5 kilomoles of CO2 at 80 Celsius to filter off, and 6.697. It's going up. But yeah, we have lots and lots and lots of gas. So the one thing that I have to worry about now is this tank getting too pressurized. I do not have a I don't have a check for that. I acknowledge. There is no check to make sure this tank don't go boom. Just saying that aloud. I mean, it's only at 4 out of 60. Really 4 out of, let's say, 40. So it's only a 10th full. But that's just important to point out, because that is a threat to our base if left, you know, to continue building. All right, I have not done batteries in a while. And yeah, they're basically dead. So the last step of this would be a little logic to have a batch writer for those filters to only filter gas when the pressure of that tank is below 40 MPa or something. You know, and I'll get that. I'll bother to do that at some point. Because otherwise, I'll just keep filtering gas, shoving it into that line more and more and more until it ruptures. Because it doesn't know better. Okay, so my batteries are done. The CO2 apocalypse has definitely been averted. I mean, obviously, it's going up, up, up. So it was just a matter of volume. And we are at 10.3 kilomoles of hydrogen gas. So let's do the logic for the filter pressure now, because I'm still just waiting for the hydrogen gas for rocket fuel. So I don't see why not. So for that, we're going to need a reader and a memory. Yeah, I see the farm's temperature climbing. Let's turn off the intake vent for now and let its AC unit... Oh, God, I'm going to end up with... Did I print? I don't know. Oh, stop. Oh, two is fine, because we are going to want a reader and a batch writer. Then we're going to want a memory. And then a compare, a math. I think that's all we need. I think it's very simple logic, because it reads the pressure of the tank, it compares the pressure of the tank to the memory, and then it writes. Yeah, so it's just a 4-unit thing. Oh, there's another one in the airlock. This is spare. Put that away. So yeah, I think it's just logic, read, write, mem, and math. And that's to prevent our available tank supply to go from going boom. That tank right there from going boom. Because it's now at 5, and it's only going to keep climbing until it goes boom. I guess I really don't need a suit for this, because I'm not going anywhere. Cheers! And the aim is to get the miner rocket launched before end of stream. Alright, logic time! More logic. So the tank's right here, so I'll just put the memory there. Reader. Batch writer. And math compare. Okay, I think that's done. So this memory is going to be set to 40,000. And this is, I'm going to call it H2CO2. H2CO2 pressure logic reader. H2CO2 pressure logic memory. H2CO2 pressure batch writer. Alright. And this will be the H2CO2 tank. So this is getting a new name. H2CO2. Small tank, small insulated. Okay, so the reader reads the pressure of it. So input is the H2CO2 small tank insulated of its pressure, which should be 6,000. Okay. Then the compare is if the reader is less than the memory. So the H2CO2 pressure reader is less than the H2CO2 memory, which is true. And then this is the batch writer for input is the pressure compare. And then the output is all filtration, whether they are on or not. Okay, so now all of these filtration units are controlled by that batch writer now. What I want to do just to make sure is I want to get my network analyzer and make sure that I know what filter units are on this network, because I just want to make sure that like there isn't any filters on the network that I didn't expect, because it's controlling all the filters. So it would be a problem if there's filters I didn't. So it's night gas 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those are the only filters. There's an air conditioner that's missing? Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Should work. Should be just fine. I mean, this is the same data network, but yeah. The only filter units are indeed the 4 night gas filters. So now, if that... It should work, because it's not very complicated. It stops the filters from blowing a hole in my base. So that can only go up to 40 or 40 MPa and not any higher. So there is a max. And then this tank is at 2.5. And yeah, easily this tank will just like perpetually have available gas in it. And it's way more gas than we need. That's 20 kilomoles of volatiles. I mean, that's an obscene amount. I went super overkill. But like, hey, better over than under. I did a whole bunch of underkill, and then I almost killed the farm. So overkill is where it's at. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Stationeers.